Israel and the United States is occupying Syria and stealing their resources.
One third of the country, 1/3, and 50% of its oil and gas. Imagine you call that instability.
So that's people like Shahid, and I'm not trying to go negative on him. I'm not. It is what it is.
No, we're not hating on him at all.
Yeah, people like him is why people are confused in the West.
Yes.
Like there's the reason why people who support free Palestine will also support free Syria, even though that was incomprehensible positions. That's why I had to call him out. Like, because on RBN, I'm not trying to yell at people and not a debate me bro channel, but we have to be factual. We have to be consistent.
I just want to say something, guys. Thank you, Red Axis, for moderating the chat. I know that you probably didn't see that comment. And here, guys, we are having a civilized conversation. Everybody is welcomed. All opinions are welcomed. I don't even see left or right or center. Everybody can express his opinions. But if you're unable to, I'm not talking to all of you. Some people are just not able to make a civilized conversation, right? And they're coming here to swear and create a very toxic environment that I see. Some people, for example, or one person, he was calling names to Nick, right? So I draw the line, and I don't want people to come just to swear and then I see fight in the live chat. We are discussing here among each other to learn. I learned from Nick, and because of his experience and because of his perspective. And then I go to his show also to speak about things that I been following more closely, right? So we complement each other, and this is why the alternative media exists. And we're not here a mainstream media. We don't create an echo chamber. We host people. So sometimes I receive people, they are considered far right. And I receive backlash in the comments, people saying, why did you host the far right? And then I host someone who's considered a far left. People are like, why did you host the far left? He's a socialist. Yes, that's why this channel exists. Otherwise, you know Fox News and you know CNN. Each one has its own audience and each one has its own guests. But this is not the purpose of the alternative media. If we do the same thing the mainstream media does, then this entire project of citizen journalism and alternative media has become just like the mainstream.
Yeah, absolutely. And for all the people who was criticizing me, I promise I'll win you over one day. I promise I will. There's so many people who are like, Nick, I'm sorry I went after you, but I promise you I'll win you over one day.
Go open your own YouTube channel. Go open your own YouTube channel and call out Nick and prove him wrong. How about that?
I promise you, you might hate me now, but you will turn around. Like, yes. If you're good faith, you will turn around. And if you don't, that's okay. I'm not above criticism. You guys see how hard I go after people? Like, I expose people. I ratio people. I expose the fraudulent DSA. There's countless politicians I expose. I know that there are going to be some people go after me too. Like, what? I'm not a bitch. Like, I can't call out other people and then get mad that people call out me too. So I think I can handle it. Like, I'm in the trenches. I want to debate and talk to anyone. And if you hate me now, I promise you I will win you over. It may take a little bit, may take a year, may take 2, maybe take 5, but I promise you I'll win you over one day. I promise you.
I have a very good instinct, and in German they say Bauchgefühl, like the feeling of your belly. And when I feel comfortable with you, I know if I meet you in real life, we will get along. And which means that in my perspective, you're a good person. So I don't care what they say. I'm just drawing the line. You know, you can criticize his opinion. That's totally allowed. But don't call him names or attack in an absurd way. But you had a very interesting debate with Shahid Bolson, and you called Jolani a Muslim Zionist. And he disagreed with you, and you were shocked that he disagreed with you. And I made an entire 1-hour show because of that debate that you had, and it was hilarious. And I wanted to invite him to my show. I sent him a DM a few months ago. And then I noticed some pattern in his videos, basically trying to whitewash Saudi Arabia's role in the region. And I said, there is something fishy about it. But you called Jolani a Zionist Muslim Zionist. How do you see now that the Israeli reports indicate that he will come to Washington, D.C., New York first, to the UN General Assembly meeting, and then he will go to the White House and he will sign a deal with Netanyahu. If he is not an Arab Zionist or a Muslim Zionist, then what is he?
Let's just say I feel extremely vindicated for that, for the conversation I had with you. I feel very vindicated for my Syria analysis ever since I started as a citizen journalist. And remember, like people like Kevork, they are a giant backbone of my knowledge on Syria. I've seen what people on the ground were saying, and I just like Syria is not like Palestine. Like Palestine is super easy to understand. Like Syria, for Westerners, is a little bit more confusing because there are a lot of honestly, there are a lot of Arabs and Muslims who make this shit complicated for us because there are a lot of Arabs who were cheering for the downfall of Assad. And I was looking at this as, once again, I was very humble. I was trying to be very open-minded when I cover Syria as someone who's not from Syria. But just looking at it, and I guess the fact that I'm detached from the area helped me look at it more strategically. For people who may just have Assad derangement syndrome, they may have they probably was done wrong by the Assad government, which I understand why they may be distrustful of Assad because they may have a personal experience that may cloud their judgment. So me being outside of Syria, I was able to analyze it objectively. Well, I'm like, objectively, it would be horrific if Assad was overthrown. It seems like the CIA and the Zionist regime wants Assad overthrown more than anything else because he provided a shipping route for weapons for the resistance. He was supportive of the resistance. So I understood, and I try to be very sensitive to the fact I don't live there, that I know that there may be people who don't dislike Assad, but it was clear that supporting this Muslim Zionist revolution was not the solution to any issue that people may have with Assad. So I had Shahid Bosan on, and I just the same way I have you on, Kevork, I had Syrian Girl. I talked to people from China. I talked to people in Russia. I had people on from Moscow, the UK. I had people on from France, from Nora Betron. I had my brother Nico House from Brazil. I'm honestly blessed, guys. I'm in a position where I talk to people from all over the world. So I actually hit Bosan on from Middle Nation, and I knew and something would come up because we had him on 2 times, right? And he was one of the people that like, hey man, I need to know exactly what we're going to talk about on the show. Like, if you guys know RBN, my RBN is very conversational. Where I'll have a skeleton, I'll have main stories, but I'm down. I'm gonna ask you whatever I feel like asking. We're gonna cover whatever comes in conversation. But Shahid was weird because he like, hey man, his person was like, hey man, you gotta make sure you submit all your questions beforehand. We gotta know exactly what it. So that was already kind of weird. Like me and Zoya, we was already kind of weird dealing with people. But he was like, oh, that's weird. That's kind of weird. Now I know why. I know why they screen questions now because I kind of broke. I was like, man, I'm not doing that fucking shit. I'm gonna ask him whatever I want for his last appearance. Now ask him about Syria. Not because I was trying to have a big gotcha moment. Not because I was trying to have a debate. I'm just assuming this guy obviously knows that supporting the CIA-backed Zionist revolution is a bad thing. What Jelani is doing, persecuting and killing Syrian people, that's obviously a bad thing. And I was shocked to see that he was saying that Syria is stable. Israel and the United States is occupying Syria and stealing their resources.
1/3 of the country, 1/3, and 50% of its oil and gas. Imagine you call that instability.
So that's people like Shahid, and I'm not trying to go negative on him. It is what it is.
No, we're not hating on him at all.
Yeah, people like him is why people are confused in the West.
Yes.
Like there's the reason why people who support free Palestine will also support free Syria, even though that was incomprehensible positions. That's why I had to call him out. Like, because on RBN, I'm not trying to yell at people and not a debate me bro channel, but we have to be factual. We have to be consistent. So that's why I had to call him out. And I'm glad that you covered it. I'm blessed and I'm honored that you covered it. Back to your question about Muslim Zionism. Even though I am extremely turned off of Judaism and I'm not hiding that, it's very important for us not to make the struggle about the struggle to free Palestine about religious struggle. the Zionists want nothing more but to make this a religious struggle. So that it made people more factionalized. It's easier to propagandize people if you make it about, are you for the Jews? Are you for the Muslims? Are you for the Christians who support the Jews? Are you for the Muslims? That's like the best thing that could possibly happen for a Zionist who cannot argue intellectually, morally, or legally for the justification of the state of Zionism. And the reason why people like Nick Fuentes and these legitimate white nationalists, the reason why they're useful idiots for the Zionist regime is because they are more than happy to make it about that. I hate the Jews. The Jews have taken over our society. The Jews, the Jew. That's all they do, right?
Yes.
Ignoring that Christian Zionism is the number one enabler, funder, and implementator of Zionism in the world. If it wasn't for Christian Zionism, Zionism would be dead on arrival. But not only that, going back to your question about Muslim Zionists, what is Zionism? Like, what people got mad
who can define that? Who can define that? Any Israeli official doesn't want to define it because they want it to be in an open definition. So they could include anything which they could consider later anti-Semitism in it. If they draw a line and say this is Zionism, people know what they can criticize, right? But if they keep it fluctuate, something that is many people do not know how to define it, it doesn't have any parameters, then the Israeli side or the Israeli officials could include anything in it by calling it this is anti-Semitism because now you are attacking us because us are Jews.
Yeah, very well said. Zionism essentially is if you're an active supporter of the Jewish state, the legal Jewish state that was created by the British Empire.
Traditional definition.
There was a lot of progressives, and they still angry at me because I called out Mamdani. Because I'm like, guys, he's a fucking liberal Zionist. There's no free Palestine here. There's nothing here. You know what I mean? He's a liberal Zionist who said he believes in Israel's right to exist. That's what a Zionist is. So a Muslim Zionist is someone who lives in the Middle East, obviously is a Muslim, who helped facilitate the state of Israel. And that infected the entirety of the Arab ruling class in the Middle East. And in a nutshell, that's why it's ridiculous to just say, oh, the Jews doing this, because the quote-unquote Jews wouldn't be able to get away with what they get away with if it wasn't for Christian Zionists in the United States and many Muslim Zionists in the Middle East. And that's the point I was making. Hopefully that makes sense to this audience.
It totally makes sense, and I completely disagree with some of the American talking heads who say, "Oh, this is only about Israel. It's Israel dragging us into these wars. It's the Jews doing this for us." It's like, was there the AIPAC in the Korean War? Have the Jews brought you to Vietnam and to kill hundreds of thousands of people to drop Agent Orange? Yes, I understand in the Middle East, Israel has more influence over the foreign policy of Washington, but this is an empire in action. They're doing the same thing in Ukraine. They're trying to do the same thing in Taiwan. This is not the Jews only doing it. No, you have Zionist people, whether Jewish, Christian, and probably also Muslims now, influencing this type of policies to go to war for their financial interests. Bankers, we're having tens of billions of dollars nowadays profits by the military industrial complex and many people with invested interest. So I wanted to make also this conclusion from the definition that Nick presented, because I totally disagree with this notion that it's Israel occupying the United States. It's an empire, and Israel part of this, one part of this empire, one leg of this empire. And people who try to make it all about Jews, they are running away from the responsibility and for the atrocities of the American officials, basically, who have committed all around the world. Guys, we are almost already 1 hour past. I didn't even feel this conversation. Nick, really, thank you so much for coming to the show, brother. I really appreciate it. And guys, his YouTube channel is in the description below. Hit a follow and also see his content. What is he talking about? agree, disagree, always stay respectful, as I said on this YouTube channel. That's really important. I just wanted to mention one last thing, that the channel is still suppressed after the warning we received from YouTube. I didn't receive yet an answer from them. And I would be really grateful if you only thumbs up, hit the like button before leaving this live streaming. And if you would like to do more, like support this channel independent work, you can become a patron, or there are different means in the description below. Nick, my friend, thank you so much again for coming to the show. I will send us to the back room. I will just play a video for the audience, which is Francesca Albanese talking about the Israeli atrocities. And after that, I will end the stream. You are set free, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Kevork. This conversation flew by, and RBN, we are big supporters of you and your channel. And
thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate your work, and you're a big source for what I study and analyze in Syria. I make sure I always check out what you're talking about. So we support everyone at RBN, support Kevork and Syrian analysis. I appreciate you coming, inviting me on. It was a great conversation. Make sure you guys follow us at Revolutionary Blackout Network, and make sure you guys get involved locally. Find a way to get involved. Don't allow the ruling class to separate and isolate us. They want us to be separated and isolated in our own little silos. Create your own organizations and be involved in the community and help lift each other's lives. Like, we can't allow ourselves to be drowned in doomerism. You know what I mean? Let's get involved. Let's get activated, and let's get to work. Thank you for having me on once again, Kevork.
Thank you, Nick. Peace, guys. Salam.
Thank you.
I address you today with a sense of foreboding that words can hardly capture. I no longer know what more can be said. 14 months ago, I warned that this genocide marked an escalatory stage of a long-standing settler colonial project over Asia, one that has targeted the Palestinian people for over 7 decades. And now, it is happening, and we must stop it. The situation in the occupied Palestinian territory is apocalyptic. In Gaza, people continue to endure suffering beyond imagination. Israel is responsible for one of the cruelest genocides in modern history. Official figures count over 200,000 killed or injured. Leading health experts estimate that true toll is far higher. As the cost to the Palestinian people grows, Israel has dismantled the last function of the UN in Gaza, humanitarian aid. Israel has used the genocide as an opportunity to test new weapons, customized surveillance, lethal drones, radar systems, and other unmanned technology to exterminate a population without restraint. While Elbit Systems wins Israeli Ministry of Defense Award for Innovation, Lockheed Martin and a global web of 1,650 other companies benefit from Israel flying the F-35 fighter jets for the first time in beast mode, carrying 4 times the ordnance, up to 22,000 pounds, than when operating in stealth mode. It is its very defenselessness that has made the people and the land of Palestine an ideal laboratory for the Israeli military-industrial complex. But in this context of Palestine, we are not talking about isolated specific incidents of wrongful conduct. The severity of the structural and sustained violations and crimes at issue has been confirmed by the International Court of Justice and has led to arrest warrants being issued by the International Criminal Court. In this context, what action could possibly be sufficient to rectify these violations and the corporate connections to them? The answer is simple. There is a prima facie responsibility on every state and corporate entity to completely abstain from or end their relationship with this economy of the occupation, especially as it has transformed into an economy of genocide. In the face of all this, too few have disengaged in the last 21 months. Armed companies have turned near-record profits by equipping Israel with cutting-edge weaponry to unleash 85,000 tons of explosives, 6 times the power of Hiroshima, on Gaza. Tech companies provide dual-use infrastructure that is utilized as a weapon of mass targeting and killing. The machinery of the global construction equipment giants is razing Gaza to the ground, preventing the return and reconstruction of Palestinian life. Global energy conglomerates have fueled these assaults with coal, oil, gas, while the same infrastructure has been deprived to the Palestinians. No water, no electricity, creating the conditions of life calculated to destroy. While major global banks have underwritten and purchased Israeli treasury bonds, bankrolling the devastation at a time of gaping military budget deficits and plummeting credit rating. The 40 entities named in my report, alongside their parent subsidiary licensees and franchisees, are just the tip of the iceberg, illustrative of this system that entangles many, many more. Let me say, member states must impose a full arms embargo on Israel, suspend all trade agreements and investment relations, and enforce accountability, ensuring that corporate entities face legal consequences for their involvement in serious violations of international law. And corporate entities must urgently cease all business activities and terminate a relationship directly linked, contributing to, and causing human rights violations and international crimes against the Palestinian people. At this existential moment for the Palestinian people, trade unions, lawyers, civil society groups, and ordinary citizens should encourage such behavioral change from the side of corporate entities and governments by pressing for boycotts, divestment, sanctions, and accountability. What comes next depends on all of us, and I truly believe that together we can make it. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. Thank you.